Last week, in a reactor hall at Kalpakkam on the coast of Tamil Nadu, a chain reaction started, and then it sustained itself. India's first indigenous fast breeder reactor had reached criticality. The design was drawn up in the 1950s. Construction began in 2004, and it just crossed the line that puts India in a club of two. Here is the problem this reactor was built to solve. India has almost no uranium, 1 to 2% of the world's reserves, but it holds nearly a quarter of the world's thorium. The catch is that thorium cannot fuel a reactor, not directly. So India spent 70 years building a machine that could turn the fuel it doesn't have into the fuel it does. This reactor is that machine, or the first working piece of it. Criticality sounds dangerous. It isn't. It simply means the reaction is now self-sustaining. Each atom that splits releases enough neutrons to split the next at a steady, controlled rate, a fire that keeps itself lit. It is the milestone that says the reactor works. Everything after this is testing. This is the Prototype Fast Breeder Reactor, 500 megawatts, built by a government company called Bhavini, set up for exactly this one job. And it is strange in two ways. First, it does not use water to cool itself. It uses liquid sodium. Because water slows neutrons down, and this reactor needs them fast. Second, and this is the part that matters, it makes more fuel than it burns. Most reactors consume fuel, and that is the end of it. This one runs on plutonium and uranium-238. As it operates, those fast neutrons convert uranium-238, which is useless as fuel, into plutonium-239, which is not. It generates its own future fuel while generating power. That is what breeder means. And the spent fuel is not thrown away. It is reprocessed and fed back in, closing the loop. Almost no one can do this. Once it is fully operational, India will be the second country in the world after Russia to run a commercial fast breeder reactor. Not the fifth, the second. Now the breeder makes sense. Homi Bhabha laid out the plan in the 1950s, 3 stages. Stage 1. Natural uranium in heavy water reactors producing plutonium. Stage 2, which begins right here with this reactor. That plutonium runs fast breeders, which can convert thorium into uranium-233. Stage 3. Thorium reactors at scale. Each stage exists to feed the next. The PFBR is the bridge between the uranium India burned in stage 1 and the thorium it has actually been sitting on. And the prize is large. By the official estimates, India's thorium alone could generate 500 gigawatts of electricity for at least 400 years. So why isn't this already done? Because it was brutally hard. The reactor was supposed to be running by 2010. It arrived more than a decade late, and the bill crossed 6,800 crore rupees. Liquid sodium catches fire in air and explodes in water. Engineering around that, first of its kind, with no one to copy, is most of why it took so long. The delay is real. So is the fact that almost no other country managed it at all. And it was built here. Over 200 Indian companies, many of them small and medium firms, supplied this reactor. The design is Indian. The build is Indian. Criticality is the start, not the finish. The reactor now spends months ramping up power under testing and regulatory checks before it ever touches the grid. It also shuts itself down. Passive safety systems mean that in an emergency, physics, not operators, brings it to a stop. More breeders are already planned at the same site. India wants 100 gigawatts of nuclear capacity by 2047. The thorium that has been sitting unused for 70 years now has a path to the grid. One reactor on a beach in Tamil Nadu that finally makes more fuel than it burns.